Have you ever felt the presence of someone, and no matter how hard you try to ignore it, they make your skin crawl? Their words might seem kind, their smile disarming, but something about them just doesn't sit right. You could brush it off as paranoia or blame it on your mood. But what if these unsettling feelings were actually trying to tell you something crucial? What if you're sensing the energy of someone who's not just toxic, but truly evil in their intentions? We've all experienced that feeling, the unease when someone close to us exhibits behavior that just feels off. The Stoics didn't just ignore this type of discomfort, they embraced it as a signal, a warning from within that you might need to guard yourself. They taught that peace of mind comes from wisdom, and part of that wisdom is knowing how to spot dangerous people before they damage your world. This guide will help you understand how to identify the signs of an evil person and offer you Stoic tools to protect your mental and emotional well-being. 1. They manipulate emotions. Have you ever found yourself questioning your own feelings after a conversation with someone? Maybe they said something that left you feeling smaller, but then insisted it was just a joke, making you second-guess your reaction. The subtlety of emotional manipulation is its power. It wears you down over time, until you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. At first, it might seem harmless, one offhand comment or a misplaced remark. But over time, these jokes or misunderstandings accumulate and begin to shape how you view yourself. This type of manipulation isn't about forceful control, it's about undermining your sense of reality until you start questioning your own reactions. The manipulator twists your emotions so skillfully that you're no longer sure what's truly affecting you and what they've planted in your mind. Take John, for example. He had a colleague who would often make passive-aggressive remarks about his work and appearance. At first, John laughed it off, thinking his colleague was just being playful, but soon the comments became more frequent, more pointed. Every time John got upset, the colleague would backpedal, claiming that he didn't mean anything by it. Slowly, John started to believe he was overreacting. The more it happened, the more he felt unsure of himself. His self-confidence took a hit, and he began to accept these remarks as normal, even though they were slowly eroding his sense of worth. This is the core of emotional manipulation, making you feel like your feelings are wrong, invalid, or exaggerated. The manipulator shifts the blame onto you, causing you to question your emotional responses and eventually your judgment. But the Stoics had a powerful antidote for this. They taught us that we are the masters of our emotions, not the people around us. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This means you don't need to cling to their manipulation or let it define your worth. Recognize when someone is trying to control your emotions, and don't engage in the toxic dance they're leading you through. When you spot these tactics early, you can avoid letting them influence your thoughts or actions. Embrace emotional clarity, and don't let someone distort your reality. Protect your peace by acknowledging when emotional manipulation is at play, and refuse to participate in it. Your feelings are yours, and no one has the right to make you doubt them. 2. They project their failures. An evil person never takes responsibility for their mistakes. Instead, they deflect, casting blame onto others or circumstances. If things go wrong, they'll point fingers at everyone but themselves, turning even the smallest setback into a collective failure. Their own lack of self-awareness fuels this behavior, because facing their own shortcomings would require them to confront their inner demons. Instead, they push that responsibility onto others, leaving you feeling like you're always on the receiving end of their failures. Take Sophia, for example. She had a colleague like this. Every time a project failed or something went wrong, her co-worker would immediately cast blame onto anyone in sight. The team's lack of success wasn't because of his poor planning or execution. It was because the team didn't follow instructions properly, or the materials weren't up to standard, or someone else missed a deadline. It became so predictable, Sophia could almost set her watch by it. He always found a scapegoat, someone or something to pin the blame on, ensuring that he never had to face the consequences of his own actions. This constant shifting of blame eroded the trust and cohesiveness within the team. People began to doubt their own work, unsure of whether they were actually the problem or whether they were being used as pawns in his game. The cycle continued until the toxic energy of misplaced blame was ingrained in the group's dynamic. But the Stoics taught us something different. They taught us to focus on what we control and to accept responsibility for our actions, regardless of external circumstances. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." True strength comes from taking ownership of your mistakes and learning from them, not running from them. The person who projects their failures onto others lacks integrity, and their inability to take responsibility only reveals their weakness. When someone constantly blames others, it's a sign they are not self-reflecting or growing. Instead, they're trapping themselves in a cycle of denial and dishonesty. Recognize these signs early, and don't let them drag you into their web of excuses. Your peace depends on your ability to own your actions and not be swayed by someone else's failure to do the same. You are responsible for your own growth, and letting others shift blame onto you compromises that journey. By understanding these manipulative behaviors, you empower yourself to spot them early and protect your peace. The Stoics knew that strength lies in the ability to stay grounded, no matter what the world throws your way. When you recognize the subtle signs of manipulation and blame shifting, you can stay clear of toxic individuals and maintain your inner calm. 3. They cultivate division. Evil thrives in chaos, and one of the easiest ways to create chaos is by dividing people. Dividers are skilled at turning groups against each other, spreading rumors, fueling misunderstandings, and breaking down trust. These people are like parasites, slowly eating away at your relationships until they're nothing but fragmented pieces. Think of a workplace where one person constantly stirs the pot, whispering behind closed doors, creating tension between friends, or even between family members. You might have experienced this before. A person who starts sowing distrust, making accusations, pitting people against one another. They often position themselves as the mediator, but in reality, they're the one igniting the fire. The goal isn't resolution, it's to ensure that everyone around them is too distracted by petty arguments to notice their true intentions. They create an environment where nothing is stable, and no one can trust anyone. Sophia had a close friend who was once like this. She would tell her one thing, then turn around and tell others the exact opposite. At first, it was subtle. Comments about someone's personal life, an offhand remark about a mutual friend's decision. But soon, Sophia noticed how people behaved differently around her. Friends grew distant. Tensions rose without clear reasons. It took her a while to realize. Her friend was sowing seeds of doubt, manipulating perceptions so everyone turned against each other. Once the division was there, the friend stood back, watching with satisfaction as relationships crumbled, all while pretending to be the concerned bystander. The Stoics understood the importance of unity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." If someone's actions cause harm to the collective, it's a clear sign they aren't working in anyone's best interest, least of all your own. A person who cultivates division isn't just hurting you, they're undermining the very fabric of your relationships. Protect your space by recognizing these tactics early. The strength of any group lies in its unity. Anyone who seeks to weaken that is working against the greater good. 4. They offer false charms. At first, an evil person might seem like your best friend. Charming, complimentary, magnetic. They know exactly what to say to make you feel seen, validated, important. But just beneath the surface, their charm is a carefully crafted mask, designed to disarm you and make you trust them. Once they've gained your confidence, the real manipulation begins. You've probably encountered someone like this. Someone who comes on strong with kindness, showering you with compliments, offering help at just the right moment. In the beginning, it feels good, maybe even necessary, but eventually, their motives become clear. The compliments aren't just random acts of kindness, they're tools, designed to get something in return. They always help in ways that leave you feeling indebted, subtly trapping you in a cycle where you owe them more than you're comfortable with. This is where the charm shifts into something much darker. John once had a mentor who seemed perfect, always there with advice, genuinely interested in his growth. But over time, John began to feel it. Every favor came with an invisible price tag. Whenever John achieved something, his mentor would step in, reminding him of how much he had helped along the way. It didn't take long for John to realize this mentor wasn't acting out of kindness. He was building a quiet, calculated sense of control. Seneca warned, "It is not the person who is good to you when things are going well, but the one who shows you kindness when they have nothing to gain. That proves their true character." Real kindness is genuine and unconditional. False kindness, it comes with strings attached, often used as a means of manipulation. Be wary of those who shower you with compliments but expect something in return. Their motives aren't as pure as they seem. The Stoics were clear. True virtue doesn't seek rewards or recognition. It acts out of duty, not out of self-interest. Here's the revised version with improved pacing, natural breaks, and thoughtful pauses to emphasize key points while maintaining overall flow. 5. They have no empathy. One of the most chilling signs of an evil person is their complete lack of empathy. They may act as though they care about others, but when push comes to shove, they are incapable of feeling or understanding the pain and struggles of those around them. This is the hallmark of a truly malicious person. Someone entirely self-centered, unable to connect with others on a human level. Take John's ex-partner, for example. He once experienced a devastating loss. But her response? Anything but compassionate. Instead of offering support or comfort, she made the conversation about her own discomfort, subtly implying she was too tired to talk or too busy to help. Her inability to step outside her own world and acknowledge John's pain was both heartbreaking and revealing. It was in that moment John realized the depth of her lack of empathy. She couldn't connect with his grief because she wasn't capable of stepping outside her own self-interest. The Stoics understood that empathy is not just a moral virtue, it's a key aspect of maintaining inner peace. As Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." If someone lacks empathy, it's often a sign of a deeper inner emptiness, one they're trying to fill through manipulation and control. A person who can't feel for others isn't just hurting you. They are trapped in their own emotional void, and they will drain you in the process. Recognizing the lack of empathy in others is vital for your own mental and emotional health. When someone consistently shows an inability to feel for others, it's a reflection of their character, not your worth. Distance yourself from such people. Your emotional well-being is far more valuable than anything they could offer. Final thoughts. So, we've uncovered 5 unmistakable signs that an evil person might be casting a shadow over your life. It's unsettling, isn't it? But here's the silver lining. The power lies in your awareness. These toxic individuals can only control you. If you remain blind to their tactics, once you spot their manipulations, their false kindness, their blame shifting, you disarm their power over you. The Stoics knew that true peace comes not from avoiding conflict, but from maintaining control over your reactions and preserving your inner calm. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Protect your peace by distancing yourself from people who seek to divide, control, or exploit you. Stand strong in your truth, set firm boundaries, and keep your integrity intact. Remember, it's not the evil that breaks you, it's your failure to recognize and reject it. If this resonated with you, drop a like, hit subscribe, and comment, "I see the signs," to let the world know you're committed to safeguarding your mental peace from negative influences. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue to build the strength to master our own minds.